You are on the brink of receiving an incredible blessing, the gift of love. But the question is, are you truly open to receiving it as God intends? There are two divine reasons for this message reaching you today. The first might be that He is striving to draw closer to you at this very moment. The second is a warning that a special man is on his way into your life. Ask yourself, is your heart truly prepared to welcome the person God has chosen to send to you? We fully understand that embracing the new can be intimidating. You may have gone through previous relationships that didn't achieve the expected success, where you found yourself hurt or betrayed despite loving unconditionally. It's natural that the idea of venturing into love again might seem unappealing, especially if your trust has been compromised repeatedly in the past. The reluctance to create new expectations is understandable, but it's important to consider that this caution might be at odds with God's plans for you. Romans chapter 5 verse 5 teaches us a profound truth. Hope does not disappoint us because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit. This verse reminds us that even in the most challenging times, we are not alone. Divine love is constantly being infused into us, offering comfort and guidance. However, we often fail to recognize the subtle signs and blessings that God meticulously places in our path. This failure usually stems not from a lack of signs, but from our inability or lack of patience to perceive and interpret His divine intervention. When a person is reluctant to engage in a situation, they will often find numerous justifications to avoid participation. Similarly, when the heart is not flooded with hope, there is a tendency to distance oneself from divine grace. In such moments, opportunities are ignored and possibilities to establish new connections, especially loving ones, are deliberately avoided. Many convince themselves that they have given up on the idea of loving again, opting to close their hearts to the outside world. In many situations, people cling rigidly to worldly ideals that are, in essence, unrealistic, leading to the automatic rejection of potential partners before they even have the chance to show their true worth. This tendency might sound familiar to many. It is understandable to have specific criteria when looking for a partner, but when those criteria are based on inflexible or superficial standards, they can prevent the formation of authentic and meaningful connections. It is not my intention to force you to romantically engage with someone against your will, but rather to encourage you to consider a different perspective. Imagine you meet someone new, and this person does not perfectly fit your preconceived ideal of a partner. Instead of dismissing them immediately, why not give this person the opportunity to reveal themselves? Often, the most valuable qualities in a person are not immediately obvious and require time to be fully appreciated. Consider the possibility that if you have the opportunity to meet someone new, this circumstance may not be merely coincidental, but perhaps a divine arrangement. God is meticulously orchestrating this relationship for you and your future spouse. Previously, we discussed the signs that indicate when God is sending someone special into our lives, but in this video, we will delve into a crucial aspect of this relationship: keeping your heart open to accept this person, even if the idea doesn't seem entirely appealing to you at first. It is a universal fact that most people yearn to find their soulmate, that partner with whom they can share life deeply and meaningfully. However, the reality is that sometimes the person God chooses for us does not exactly match the image we had in mind. Or perhaps past romantic disappointments have significantly diminished your willingness to become romantically involved. In these circumstances, it is common for people not to receive their soulmate with open arms and might even, unknowingly, be repelling them. Let's delve deeply into the most common reasons for resisting new romantic relationships, helping you identify and overcome these obstacles. The first and perhaps most common of these reasons is the hesitation to allow yourself to fall in love again, especially when you believe the person in question isn't suitable. While we may have a clear list of qualities we desire in a partner, the truth is that we often don't fully understand what we truly need for our happiness and personal growth. This reality particularly applies to the new people God brings into our lives. It is natural for the human heart to be drawn to the affection and allure of new connections. However, this inclination can mislead us, as the heart can be deceptive and vulnerable to superficial enchantments. This means that, often, we may be attracted to someone not for their enduring and compatible qualities, but for an initial attraction that blinds us to the true merits of a suitable companion. Proverbs 16 verse 9 offers us a profound reflection. In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. This biblical passage highlights an essential truth about human nature and divine providence. Frequently, you may make plans and believe you are in complete control of your life, especially in matters of the heart. However, it is crucial to recognize that often, our own desires and emotions can lead us astray. Your heart, though sincere in its intentions, can sometimes lead you down paths that are not the best for you, especially when you are in love. This inclination of the human heart to deceive itself is further highlighted in Jeremiah 17 verse 9, which warns, "The heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it?" This biblical verse points to the complexity of the human heart and its capacity to deceive us. In matters of love, for example, it is common to justify behaviors and ignore warning signs, because love tends to put rose-colored glasses on our eyes. This phenomenon not only masks the true colors of those we love, but can also lead us to make choices based more on emotions than on a rational and objective assessment. Have you ever reflected on the complex dynamics faced by victims of domestic abuse, who often find themselves unable to leave an extremely harmful situation? This phenomenon can be difficult to understand for those who have never experienced anything similar. Often, despite the alarming and dangerous circumstances, these victims remain bound to their abusers. One explanation for this lies in how emotional abuse intertwines with moments of affection, creating a confusing cycle of pain and affection. In such situations, victims may end up seeing their abusers in a deceptively positive light. They often focus on the rare moments of kindness and love, which stand out as oases of relief in the vast deserts of cruel treatment. This pattern of emotional highs and lows confuses and disorients, leading the victim to defend the abusive partner. They argue, often with painful conviction, that despite the violent acts, their partners are fundamentally loving and kind. We often find ourselves at life's crossroads where the path to follow seems clear and promising, guided by our own desires and emotions. However, the underlying reality is that our hearts can lead us to choices that, while attractive on the surface, can result in painful and even destructive consequences. In this context, it is essential to recognize that our perspective may be limited and that our feelings can be misleading. The truth is that only God has the complete vision of the path that is truly beneficial for us. He knows every aspect of our lives, every need, and every potential pitfall that our hearts may overlook. By surrendering to His guidance, we open the doors to a safer and more fruitful direction. Proverbs 14 verse 12 warns us about the illusion of following a path that seems right but, in reality, can lead to ruin, not only literally but also symbolically, destroying our hopes and dreams. This metaphor is not just intended to instill caution, but also to emphasize the importance of seeking wisdom beyond our own understanding. What we often consider the ideal course of action can, without proper spiritual guidance, divert us from the true purposes and blessings destined for us. Throughout our life journey, we often rely excessively on our own wisdom and knowledge, believing we are fully equipped to make choices without divine guidance. This approach often results in pain and frustration, because our limited vision cannot foresee the complexities and challenges that may arise. It is crucial, therefore, to recognize our vulnerability, especially in matters of the heart, where our emotions can overshadow our judgment. When we begin to entrust these decisions to God, we open the door for Him to lead us to true and lasting love. God, in His infinite wisdom, understands who we need in our lives much better than we do. He is actively involved in our paths, perhaps more than we realize. At the moment you read these words, He may be weaving the circumstances that will lead you to your true love. It is essential to give this person the space to show who they really are, without prejudice or fear. This also implies overcoming our own resistances, especially when we meet someone who challenges or intimidates us. We often dismiss potential partners because we believe they don't fit the ideal we've constructed or because they seem too challenging. However, it is precisely in relationships that challenge us that we find opportunities for growth and character building. God does not intend for us to have partners who simplify our lives to the point of stagnation, but rather those who promote our evolution. The person God sends into your life may initially be intimidating, but often they are the one who will push you to achieve your best. This relationship will not be marked by ease, but by mutual growth and overcoming challenges together, forging a strong and enriching bond. It is through these interactions that your character is refined and your soul is strengthened. Thus, when facing the possibility of a new relationship, it is vital to keep your heart and mind open, ready to accept not just what is comfortable, but what is constructive. Trust that God knows who is best for you and allow yourself to be guided by His wisdom. One of the most common reasons you might hesitate to accept a new love is deeply rooted in a wounded heart. The emotional scars left by previous relationships or betrayals can create an invisible barrier, a shield you raise to protect yourself from new pain. You may find yourself emotionally tied to memories of someone who has left or still healing from wounds left by past disappointments. In this context, the exhortation of Philippians 3 verse 13 resonates with special clarity. It is essential to forget the hurts of the past to move forward toward the future that awaits you. The fear of getting hurt again is natural and understandable, but it is vital to recognize that God's perspective on your romantic future is rich in promises and potential. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 assures us that God has plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a bright future. This divine promise is a powerful reminder that although the past may have been painful, the future holds possibilities of healing and joy. Facing the fear of opening up again after a broken heart requires more than mere will. It requires deep faith and the courage to take a leap into the unknown. Accepting someone new in your life means more than simply turning a page. It is about starting a new chapter that can be filled with love, understanding, and true partnership. This process can be daunting, but also incredibly enriching, as it allows you to reconnect with the ability to love and trust again. It is crucial, then, not to let the wounds of the past limit your ability to experience renewed and deep love. Allowing yourself to heal and open your heart again is not just an act of courage, but also an act of faith in the divine promise of a better future. It is fundamental to understand the importance of fully opening our hearts and minds to the love that God has meticulously prepared for each of us. Often, fear and emotional scars from the past can create impenetrable barriers that prevent us from receiving and recognizing the true and divine love that is rightfully ours. We must understand that God is constantly working in our lives, guiding us along paths we sometimes do not understand, but that always aim for our greater good. Therefore, it is essential not only to recognize, but also to trust deeply in His divine plan and infallible will for our lives. God, in His infinite wisdom, is with us every step of our journey, both in times of joy and in adversity, and He longs for our complete happiness and fulfillment. Hence, it is crucial not just to accept, but to enthusiastically embrace the love He offers us. Often, we may feel hesitation or resistance due to past painful experiences, but we must remember that each new opportunity for love is a divine gift, meticulously chosen for us. May this message resonate as a vigorous call to renew your faith in God, transcending your own understanding and the desires that can often lead you astray. Open your heart with expectation to divine love, preparing to welcome the generous blessings that God has meticulously prepared for you. More than that, may you have the strength to align your daily existence with God's will, constantly seeking His wisdom and direction. In every decision, in every relationship, let your first and last resource always be divine guidance, ensuring that your path is illuminated by the light of deep and true faith. Stay alert and open to changes, knowing that the universe is always looking out for you. Type E1010 to claim this message and the blessings within it, and leave a positive comment to spread the goodness. Don't miss the important message awaiting you in the next video. May the universe guide your steps with love and deep faith. Amen.